All right. All right, that looks good. All right. I know I just did an episode like 2 days ago, but yeah, I believe it was 2 nights ago, but I want to kill time. All right, I already got the strawberry outfit. I did do some gameplay off screen, but nothing to progress the story. I just did a few battles and got some upgrades done. But yeah, I'm trying to not, like I said, like, I'm trying to not do these as close together because I want it to last, and if I do them too often, then I'm gonna run out of things to talk. I'm gonna run out of stuff to talk about, and if I like take longer breaks between them, like I'll have more to talk about. But I want to kill time tonight, so I decided to just go ahead and do the second episode. Don't expect the third episode to come as soon, I'm really not sure when I'm gonna be doing these. Like, it's gonna be extremely inconsistent, I'm mostly gonna be doing them like if I have like number one, if I just want to kill time for something, or number two, like something has happened in between episodes and like I want to talk about it. So yeah, it's just gonna depend on stuff like that, and the time between episodes should vary. For example, between episode 1 and episode 2 was just a couple of days, but between this episode and the third episode, it could be a lot longer. It just depends on certain factors that I've mentioned. Like I said, I'm hoping I can get my guardianship appointment done soon. And if this is still going on, which it probably will, considering how I do want it to last, I'm definitely gonna be talking about it, and because I want to talk you guys through the whole guardianship process, getting my ID. I want to talk about that stuff with you guys. It'll give me something to talk about, and it's just nice. It's just nice. It just feels good giving you guys updates on how life is going. It's just therapeutic. And feel free to do the same thing too, whether you're like a part of the premiere or you like miss the premiere. You can still comment, like Green Ethan, like I know you're gonna be doing that. Feel free. Feel free to let me know how life is going for you guys. I do it, and so you guys can as well. The good news is the dog is gone, for now at least. Unfortunately, like, they've been bringing him over here quite often. They brought him over here 3 times in the last 2 months. And the first time he was over here for 3 weeks. The second time he was over here for just a night, thankfully. And then this time he was over here for 5 nights. Still, I mean, not as bad as the freaking 3-week rigmarole, but damn. They went over to Granbury, or whatever the frick it's called. My grandparents did. Okay, Orkia has no more. Oh, well, never mind. She's gonna just take some candy from me, I guess. Or I'm gonna give it to her. Same difference. But yeah, like, I mentioned about this a few days ago with you guys. My grandparents, oh my god, they are travelholics. I like, what's the opposite of a homebody? Whatever the opposite of a homebody is, that's what my grandparents are, because like, you know, they like they constantly they're constantly out of the house, and they take trips at least once a month, or even maybe even more often. And don't get me wrong, like, I get it, like, if it's like mandatory or like a family thing. Hell, I heard the 3-week cruise they went on back in May was just that, you know, like, back on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. My dad told me that they apparently had family also going on the cruise, so, you know, they felt obligated to go. Which, that's a whole new topic. Like, I'll get into that later on if I still have time, but yeah, I get it. Like, if you feel like if you have to go somewhere for whatever reason, you know, that's understandable. Oh, duh, I should be freaking encoring Moose. I don't know, I am still encoring Orkia. There we go. But yeah, like, if you're a dog owner, like, I don't believe people should be going on trips all the time, like, unless they have to. Like, if it's like an obligation or like an emergency, yeah, that's understandable. But if you're just doing it for the hell of it, like, I'm sorry, but that is a bit irresponsible. I'm not trying to call my grandparents irresponsible directly. But you know, I'm just saying this as a general thing. Sorry. Laughing at something random as always. You know what? Let's just randomize it because. Oh, okay, good. They liked it. I don't always know what to feed these people. They're picky as hell. But yeah, and another alternative is like to find different pet sitters, you know, or to just not have a dog. Like, but if you have a dog, like, I do think it can be a bit irresponsible to go on trips that you don't even have to go on. Again, like, if it's like an obligation or like a family emergency, that's obviously different. But constantly leaving your dog with a family with a household that has a family member that doesn't like a dog, that doesn't like dogs. Yeah, not the best idea. I mean, my dad and my brother, they love dogs, so they're more tolerant of it, but I've always felt uncomfortable. I've always been uncomfortable around dogs. Zach doesn't bite, but like, he's just very hyper, and like he constantly he's very clingy, like he constantly follows you around, like he's constantly like getting into stuff, so and when he's here, I'm constantly stressing about whether or not my bedroom door is shut, and I'm gonna have to start doing the same thing to the the bathroom door. My brother and I both apparently, because he apparently got into the trash can. Ooh, I like monkey. That is an inside joke. Ashton and Ethan, well, Purple Ethan, you know the context of the I like monkey line. Green Ethan, I think I told you about it a couple of months ago. But yeah, basically this one user on DeviantArt, she donated me some points, which is a currency on DeviantArt. And instead of saying I like money, she accidentally said I like monkey. Yeah. Oh, funny shit. And it was and it was during my vacation to South Padre Island too. Yeah, I know. Vacation this, vacation that. My grandparents live for that shit. Sorry. I don't know why I'm giggly all of a sudden. I can't even do an encore. Fuck. Fuck. But yeah, I just stress out a lot when their dog is here, and every time they come back and get him, I'm always coming out of my room, and I'm like, oh, thank God you're here. Thank God you guys are here. Take that thing back. I don't say the second part, but the first part definitely. Thank goodness you're here. But yeah, that's why Zach has stresses me out. He gets into stuff, sometimes he may poop or pee on the carpet. He hasn't done it in my room, but he has peed on the living room floor. And then, like, while he was here for these 5 days, he tore up the trash can. And apparently my brother was trying to tell me, like, I think, like, yesterday, but I I had earbuds in my ears, and I thought he had to go to the bathroom, so I was rushing. Like, I wasn't trying to ignore him intentionally, but I thought he had to get into the bathroom. So, and like I said, I had earbuds in my ears, so I couldn't hear him. So I just ran into the bathroom and ran out because, like I said, like I thought he had to get in there, so I was like, "Ooh, fuck, I think he has to go to the bathroom. I better hurry up." But no, he needed to tell me something. But yeah, I talked about it with him. He was understanding. I wasn't intentionally trying to ignore him. I was I just had earbuds in my ear, and like I thought he had to get into the bathroom, so I was rushing. But yeah, the dog is crazy. Not in and not in a good way. That I mean, I'm insulting crazy things. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, the dog is a pain in the ass. My dad doesn't want to admit it to my grandma, aka his mom, but he is. He's a pain in the ass to us. Even if my dad hasn't explicitly said it, he does get annoyed with him, and it's funny. Like I want him to get annoyed. Like he needs to understand how I feel. I'm not trying to be insensitive or a sadist, but my dad is my dad can be insensitive himself. I want to hope that they are trying to find other babysitters so they don't have to just keep relying on this household, but my hopes at this point are at an all-time low. Because as much as I hate to admit it, why would they bother finding a babysitter when you have a son that would do anything for you? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I hate to admit that, but that's what it's like. I mean, I may lack awareness, but not to a severe extent. Like I know what's up. I know what's up with my. I know what goes on around here, to an extent. And she doesn't even pay my son, or not my son, her son, my dad. She pays my brother to do it because he mostly sleeps in my brother's room. At first, she tried to pay my dad, but he just let my brother have the money, so she's just been paying him instead. On the bright side, though, like it'll help my brother save up money, like because he needs to save up money. I'm not trying to rush anything, but like he does need to save up money. That way he can get his own place later on down the road. Honestly, though, like I think he should stay here for a few years, at least until my grandparents can find other pet sitters. Because even though my my grandparents' dog is getting up there in age. Like, he still has a few years left in him. So if my brother does move out before it's, the dog's time to pass, like, that could cause problems. If my grandparents can't find a babysitter by then, or by the time my brother moves out. But it's not like my brother's gonna move out any second. It's gonna be a few years, but the dog may be around for even longer. You never know. Some dogs live to be like longer than average. So yeah, if my brother does move out before it's the dog's time to, pass away, then yeah, hopefully they can find other babysitters. Because my brother does most of the work, like, I mean, he'll go into my dad, he'll bark at outside at my dad's door. Like in the mornings before he leaves for work, but my brother does most of the work because he lets the dog sleep in his room, which can be disruptive to his sleep. So yeah. And like I am not comfortable around dogs. I mean, like, I'll let him out and I'll give him treats, but no way am I letting the freaking thing into my room. No fucking where, no fucking way, no fucking when, no fucking who. And like, it shouldn't be that hard. Like, there's probably a bunch of like pet sitting services they can look into online and like through phone apps. I mean, they're not boomers. I mean, I think they are a part of the baby boomer generation, I believe, if not the next one after. But it's not like they're against modern technology, because they do use it. They do have like iPhones and they use like Facebook. Like, they're not the type to just be like, oh, back in the day, we didn't have this stuff. They do use it. So it really shouldn't be that hard to find like pet sitters, or like a service that offers pet sitters, like an app or a website. Hell, I even tried finding one for curiosity reasons, and like, I think I found an app called Rover. It's like a dog, like, it's like a pet sitting app. I'm not sure if it's pets in general or like specifically for dogs, but regardless, like, I feel like the app would be beneficial to them. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens over these past few months, past few years. I don't fucking know. And not to mention the fact that my brother has an internship coming up, and then like of course he'll go back to college like in late August. So he's not going to be as available anymore to watch the dog, and neither is my dad. I mean, my dad will be here probably about noon because there's some construction, like some road construction or something going on in my town currently, and I heard it could take a few years for it to get done. And my dad's taking advantage of it by coming home from work like at like noonish instead of like 5 p.m. And but still, like that still leaves the dog home for a good few hours, like back because my brother could have like classes from I don't know 11 or like even like earlier to like 3, you know. Plus he has his internship, so that would leave like just the mornings, like they wouldn't even be here to watch Zach. But I'm not counting even after the summer is over. I'm not counting on it. I think all four. Well, I mean, I kind of prefer cats. I wouldn't want one as a pet, but if I still had to choose like a preference, like not as a pet, but just as an animal in general, like I would definitely choose cats. I think all of us have more of a cat lean. All four of us, me, Green Ethan, Purple Ethan, and Ashton, we all have a lean towards cats. Purple Ethan, he has 3 cats. John, Pumpkin, and a new cat, Kid Cat. John, I think, is a grayish brown tabby cat. Pumpkin is an orange tabby cat. And his new cat, Kid Cat, is a gray tabby cat. And I know Ashton, his main 3 cats he wants is a tuxedo cat named Oreo, which is absolutely fucking adorable, by the way. A white cat named Snowy with an IE instead of a Y, which is absolutely adorable. And a calico cat named Calamari. A Persian calico, or a calico Persian. And Green Ethan, I know you told me that your brothers Crosby and Theo want a dog. I'm sorry to hear that. Like, I'm kind of in a similar situation. Because my dad and my brother, they want dogs, but they know damn well how uncomfortable I am around them. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we partially do own a dog because my grandparents are out all the time. So they're constantly bringing their dog over here. For my dad and my brother, it's a blessing, but for me, it's a curse. Well, it's more of a blur for my dad because he tells my grandparents that he has fun with him, which is probably true because he does love dogs after all, but he does get pretty annoyed with him too. But yeah, I know how you feel, Green Ethan. It's not fun living with people with conflicting preferences. I can say that much. Because I know you said you're more of a bird person and a cat person. I don't blame you, even though I'm not a pet person in general. Birds are my favorite animal, and I do prefer cats over dogs. And hell, I've been talking about this on here for years with you guys. I've been talking about how much I look forward to us getting our own place. But it it's just become even more. I ever since these past these past couple of months, I've been feeling my feelings towards my hopes and feelings of us getting our own places. Me, my brother, Purple Ethan, Green Ethan, Ashton. I think I said me. They have just intensified because the more bullshit I deal with and the more bullshit I hear from you guys, the more I want all of us to just be free at our own places. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yeah. I do love my dad and my brother, and we do love each other deep down, but I've talked about this 100 times. We clash in so many ways. Hell, even with my mom, we also clash. in a lot of ways too. It's hard to find a middle ground with my family. I mean, don't get we love each other deep down, you know. That's not what I'm saying, but it's hard for us to find the middle ground, you know, find things we have in common. Ooh, all right. Even though my dad can be a bit ignorant, impatient, and insensitive when it comes to me being on the spectrum and possibly having ADHD, I will give him credit for having more patience and knowledge knowledge than my mom. At least the patience part. But it still kinda hit me the way he told me that I was not the only reason, but part of the reason why my mom bailed on, or you know what I mean, left back in 2019. My dad said I was part of the reason, and what made it even worse is like, it was when he was lecturing me, and somehow, like, it was because of me being upset about the dog coming over here for this was before the 3 week long vacation my grandparents went on, and the dog was over here from May 2nd through May 23rd. And the lecture took place on April 30th. But yeah, what made it even worse is that, like I said, my dad was lecturing me. Like, it wasn't just me and my dad venting about my mom. He was like lecturing me, and like you said, Ashton, it made it seem like he doesn't blame her, even if he's more patient than my mom. Separation should never be the kid's fault, okay? Like, I I get it. Sometimes there are people who have problems, you know. Sometimes there are maritable problems between people, and you know, that's fine to, you know, get a divorce or to separate or to get an annulment or, you know, whatever. But like you said, Green Ethan, you should never make it about your kids, you know. That's just this. That's just. I don't even know what to describe it as, but it's disgusting. All right. Yes, I want to continue playing. Shut up. But yeah, I've always been skeptical about my mom because she, like, still even after her and my dad separated, like, she rubs me the wrong way. Like, I have made countless vent posts about it in the server I'm in with Ashton and Purple Ethan. She is, look, she is high maintenance as hell. I get it. She misses me, but gosh darn. Goddamn. One of the reasons why my mom still rubs me the wrong way is, like I said, she's high maintenance. And oh my god, me and Ashton have been talking about this a lot. But she she guilt she guilt trips me for sending short texts. And, my friend Ashton, he relates to me. He's like me. He doesn't have the headspace to send a full-fledged response, even if the text, that it is like that was sent to us was like long. Even then, like, I don't always have the headspace to send a full-fledged response. So sometimes I'll only like text back in a few words or like a sentence or two. And Ashton, he has dealt with people who are ignorant about that himself, and like I'm on the spectrum and I could possibly have ADHD, and Ashton and I believe that it could stem from like it can stem from those two disorders, and like I could very well have both. So yeah, like I do love my mom, but look, like she needs a lot of knowledge when it comes to neurofibromatosis, autism spectrum disorder, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And then what I found out back in April 30th just made my relationship with her more tense and strained. Thank you, Jesus Christ. Oh, come on. Okay, good. These banshees are so annoying. Oh, are you serious? Jesus, criminies. Ooh, nice. So I'm leveling up. Ooh, out of tune, finally. Something both my parents are also ignorant on is, like, I don't like to be out of my comfort zone. You know, I'm not a big fan of taking vacations, and I've tried to have my parents be made aware, but they they just don't understand. I remember back in I think it was either in April 2017 or May 2017. My my parents got into this fight about me not wanting to go, and I only I only heard a part of it. Like, I wasn't even really sure what they were talking about until my mom talked to me about it, but the only thing I heard was something about my dad cooking breakfast for me at the in the RV. So I I later go into, and yeah, like I said, this was back in 2017, so this was before the separation. After my dad leaves for work, I go into my mom's room. Probably not a good idea, but or maybe she, or I don't even know if I went in there like on my own accord. Like, I don't remember, but she could have called me when I was like trying to get into the kitchen for something. I don't remember exactly, but she, like, you know, she told me that she finally told my dad about me not wanting to go to Virginia. And like, I started to panic because I wasn't sure what my mom would say, because like I was dreading this for months. Like, my dad first mentioned about it in August 2016. Then you know, I started like, and then I was worried about it for a while because like it's just too long of a trip for me. I don't give a shit if I'm not the one driving. It's too long for me. Texas to Virginia. Orange Grove to Virginia, because that's my old town. And I'm not sure what city David and Angie are in, which are friends of my parents, my parents' friends. But yeah, you know, and like I eventually talked to my mama, like, and like, but yeah, eventually I was able to get myself to stop worrying about it, and like to the point where I almost forgot about it, and until my, well, not necessarily forgot, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it was just, I just buried it in the back of my head. And then in February 2017, I heard I think I was like in the kitchen or in the living room back in my old house, and my dad was telling my brother that we may go out to see his and my mom's old friends, David and Angie. So like I eventually told my mom about it not too long after that. It was in February, March, April of 2017. It was around that time frame. And then like in like I said, in April or May, like my mom finally talked to my dad about it, and it did not go well because like I said, like she was telling me about it, and she was, and then like, you know, she kept getting mad at me, and then like she brought up that my dad said that families should always have to do things together. You know how I've talked about how my dad is a bit rabidly family oriented. Well, that's an example right there. He thinks families should be just forced to dragged into doing stuff together. And like, I don't agree with that. I do agree that you should spend time with family on a reasonable basis, but you shouldn't have to feel obligated to do so if it's way too out of your comfort zone. So yeah, like my mom was like lecturing me, like she kept saying stuff like, "Oh, as long as you live under this roof, you will do blah 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 blah." You know, she kept yelling at me. She gave the excuse that even 10-year-olds understand that families should have to do stuff together. Which I don't know what age has to do with it. Like people are gonna have their own beliefs. Like it's not always gonna depend on age. If anything, like I was already an adult back then, you know, I was 18, almost 19, so you know, I should be able to make my own decisions. If I don't want to go, I shouldn't have to. But yeah, that's like I said, that is another example of my parents being a bit insensitive towards my overall situation. Luckily, we never went. But yeah, I'm not much of a vacation person in general. Excuse me. Like, I just want to be where I am comfortable. I want to be in the comfort of my own house, in the comfort of my own room, my own bed. I want to have my TV, I want to have my PC. Like, I want to be able to do just my hobbies. I want to play video games. I want to watch YouTube, watch SpongeBob, watch Family Guy, and just do my own usual thing. I want to work on my books. I just don't understand like normal people, people who crave vacations and adventure. I I I I just don't see wasting all the time, money, effort, and energy through all that rigmarole. Like, I just want to do my own thing and take day trips, work on my books, play video games, listen to awesome music, dance, and do all that. Hell, I'm actually mostly relieved about the Rio Dosa, New Mexico trip most likely being canceled. When my grandparents came back to pick up their dog, like, they kind of talked about it a little bit. My dad was wondering if we were still on for New Mexico, and thankfully, I think they ultimately decided that we'll probably just wait till next summer, because not only the wildfires, but I heard something about like a lot of rain. So like, it's just better for us to wait. Maybe they can rebuild and repair some stuff. It'll be a better experience than it would have been if we went this year. So yeah, that's the other reason why I'm skeptical about the vacation, or that vacation in particular, is just different stuff that kind of ruined it. The wildfires, especially. And like, it's a pain in the ass to just keep pack, unpack, pack, and unpack again. Like, ugh, screw that. Okay, let's not do out of tune because we're already suffering as it is. We'll keep giving encores to Moose. Oh my god. Oh! I like this. Banana fritter. Good job, Purple Ethan. Oh boy, we're coming in close here. Aww. I'll probably talk more after this battle. I just want to make sure we defeat this fuckhead. Oh, good. Thank goodness. Okay. We still have HP sprinkles. We just don't have any more MP sprinkles. All right. Oh, thank God. All right. But yeah. Like I said, like I'm just not a vacation person. Hell, one of the reasons why I'm excited to get my own place is so like it'll probably be easier for me to get out of doing vacations. I'm not saying I'm never gonna do stuff with my family, but I'd rather keep it casual. Like me going over to my dad's for lunch or us eating at a restaurant together or going to the Synergy. I don't know, just a little fun casual stuff like that. Because I'm just not a vacation person. I just want to be in my comfort zone and do my own thing. You know, play video games, watch TV, write, you know, all that good stuff. And that's the thing with my grandparents too, is like I said, like they take a lot of vacations and sometimes they make obligatory ones where me, my dad, and my brother have to also go on. And like hopefully I won't have to worry about that anymore once I'm at my own place. I mean, I don't like to blame, you know, autism spectrum disorder for everything, but like we tend to feel very uncomfortable out of our comfort zone. Now, there are people who are on the spectrum that like taking vacations, like Purple Ethan, for example, but some people who have like who are on the spectrum don't like taking vacations because because it means going out of their comfort zone, and like it also means their routine is disrupted. And you know, people on the spectrum don't like to deal with that. But I don't always like to tell my bring autism into everything when or autism spectrum disorder into everything when I'm like trying to tell my dad stuff. I don't want him to get any wrong ideas, so I've never really said anything about it. I'm just hoping my books on autism spectrum disorder will be of some help, and hopefully they can get a good enough reputation. And then I will let have my dad read them, because I I probably mentioned this in my first part a couple of days ago, but I'd rather wait to have my family read my books. I want them to get a good enough reputation first, and for people to be like, oh yeah, you know, and for people to confirm certain symptoms, oh yes, I've dealt with a lot of these too, just stuff like that. That way my dad knows that what I'm writing is true and not just a bunch of bullshit and excuses. Plus, I'm going to be trying to do some research too along the way, seeing what all people have to deal with because of being on the spectrum. So yeah. All right, we're done with the greenhorn faces. Ooh, yes. Now we can get into the castle. Oh god, the horse. I like horses in real life, but the game horse can be a bit disadvantageous sometimes. We'll just go with female, because why not? I'm, I'm, I don't want to do this off screen, so let's just do the default. I may or may not change it off screen, we'll see. But yeah. And you have to invite the horse to join, because if you don't, it's just gonna keep forcing you. It's just it's gonna force you to say yes, and it's gonna tell you that the horse is crestfallen. But yeah, I hope I can get my parents to be more aware about autism spectrum disorder and ADHD eventually. Because ignorance is just gonna put strain on my relationship with them. I literally don't know. Let's just name it creme, or I don't know. But yeah, I'm almost out of stuff to talk about for the episode. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna end it off then after we get caught up on the social events. Yeah, that's gonna be a bit harder, keeping the whole world clean when we have no control what other people do. Alright. Anyway, guys, I think that's gonna be it. We had another good talk today. I'm not sure when I'm gonna do the next one, but I'm probably gonna wait a little bit longer so I can wait for stuff to happen and I can have more to talk about with you guys. Because, like, I don't like doing these in a rush, because not only will it end more quicker than we want it to, but it's going to be harder to find stuff to talk about. Whereas if I take my time with it, it'll be easier because I'll have more to updates and things accumulated to talk to you guys about during each episode. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I am gonna go now. Boy.